earlier we had that conversation, even outside the country. Earlier today, they were talking about the judiciary in this session that Mylene Silk Oba Sube moderated. And then you heard when Kenya said there was absolutely no training before now, and then the other person who spoke from India said there was actually no training. So they started learning on the job. So in terms of that preparedness, I think it has come and we will have to learn on the job. We will make mistakes, but we will get this right with time. Then in terms of infrastructure, I see that as a challenge, but also not a challenge. The reality of it all is that when there is a will, there is a way. And I see a lot of thinking and a lot of discussions around how to put an end to all these infrastructural challenges. And then also for the entrepreneurial Nigerian, those who love to invest. This is now the time for people to now put their money where the opportunity is. So I don't see it as a challenge, but I see it as another opportunity for Nigerians who are entrepreneurs.
Thank you very much for that, Lere. Thank you. When there's a will, there is a way. And that takes me to my next question, which has to do with you've given the impression, both of us have given, as in both you and Busola have given the impression that, look, the environment wasn't adequately prepared for this. But what my thinking is, we are not doing it. Will I say there's a will to do this, or we've been forced to do it? And if we've been forced to do it, is it sustainable? Is this something that now the usual Nigerian energy, we start up so well, and we're talking about the digital age, the virtual space, and then maybe when if there's a vaccine for coronavirus, for instance, and there's not too much talk about virtual space, people can actually meet physically. Do you think we can backtrack to our old ways and maybe still not be able to catch up with the rest of the world because it was not really voluntary? We didn't enter into the system voluntarily. Would you think that, Lere?
In terms of law practice, I do not think that way, because this is all about business. So the reality is people are already feeling now that, I can have my law firm with one or two associates, or if I like, I may not even have associates. I may take as many as possible as virtual interns or virtual associates, and then I pay less to them. I am able to retain more income, and then I don't have to travel from Ebonyi to Sokoto for my litigation, so I can sit in front of my desk and schedule all my cases, and I can do 5 to 10 cases in one day without traveling, so I don't need 30, 50, 60 lawyers in my office, and people are flying all over everywhere. I don't need to sit in my office to look for, I don't need to go for a large gathering in Singapore or in London or in US and start exchanging cards before I can, actually get clients. Now I can come into the digital space and communicate and network and market my law firm and then get this brief. So this business reality is already done, and there's no way we can actually escape from it. So in one way or the other, I feel that opportunity will not make the old way attractive to people. For the judges that who can sit in their houses to attend to their cases, apart from, instead of traveling several hours in traffic to the courts, they can sit in front of their computer and, attend to their cases. So I feel that this new reality that has come before us is going to be here for a long time. But maybe in our other social life, parties and all that, we may go back to it. But this one is going to save us money, save us time, and make us retain income. I feel it has come to stay.
Okay, thank you very much, Lere. So, Busola, do you share the same sentiment?
Unfortunately, no. I don't share the same sentiment because even during the pandemic, we had to take some interventions before some offices shut down, because people are, and the thing about change is people resist change. It's not very easy for you to make that move, to make that switch, and I can tell that I had some people, some family friends that even during the lockdown their offices still compelled them to come to work, and they just had to find their way of getting to work. And I think for this to effectively work, it has to stem from our mindsets. If we can begin to change our mindset to say that this is now the new order, and with this new order comes a lot of flexibility, I can do more. I don't have to spend hours in traffic, trying to get to work, commuting back and forth and all of that. And begin to change our mindset and orientation, then it will be easy for us to accept this change. But then again, you would also not take away the fact that there's the need for human interaction. And so people would still want to, come to the office and, see one or two things. And for people, especially, some older generation who are more like micromanagers, they would want to ensure that their staff, are in the office, you see them work. Somebody is working and the files are moving, and again, given the nature of our environment here, do we have the right facilities to help us or to enable this kind of lifestyle that we intend or propose to begin to adopt? So to that extent, I'm not sure that everyone will come in tandem with this new reality. And again, also because variety is the spice of life. So some would want to have it, the virtual experience, and some would prefer to have the physical experience. So I think is by the time people begin to see, the consequences of, either going virtual or not, then they'll be able to now make a decision to say, oh, I think we'll have to go virtual and, just have a bit of physical interaction, less of physical interaction. So, by and large, I'm not sure that everyone is going to continue in with the same. No, I'm not sure about that.
All right.
Well,
Thank
can I
Thank you very
just
much,
say,
Busola.
can I chip in this point? I do not totally agree with Busola, and I'm going to let you know one thing.
Okay, maybe when we come back, we would like to go for a short break. So I'll just let you continue the conversation after that. Thank you very much, Lere. Thank you very much, Busola. Thank you.
We don't always agree.
Actually, but that's what makes the conversation interesting.
Yeah, of course.
See, all these older lawyers are now asking for training on tech.
Not all of them. What's the percentage?
But yeah, I'm telling you that
What's the
they are
percentage?
they're forced to learn it now.
I'm not disputing
And the
that.
moment they learn
I'm not
it,
disputing that. I'm saying what is the percentage? We can't just sit in Lagos and assess based on what is happening in
the
Lagos.
tools that are coming will force everybody to want to embrace it.
But what I'm saying is,
One of
what's
the
the
tools,
percentage?
one of the tools is what this office produces. It will force people to adopt that change.
Yes.
Let me tell you, when Justice Ogunmejo was talking at Law Pavilions, was it Law Pavilion? Yes, it was on session like that, and then she was talking about legal analytics. People don't still understand the power of legal analytics. If by the time we implement proper analytics in this country, the reason why all these things are not yet here is because we're still holding information. So Supreme Court judges will they write their cases, you still expect to read in hard copy law reports. By the time all courts put their law reports online, I will sit in my office, develop tools that will crawl around these documents and then will provide a powerful tool. They're already available. They'll provide a powerful tool that will help you to analyze these documents and provide statistics, provide different types of information, so that on the click of once I tap my laptop.
For me, boy, if I could read your mind, I wonder if I'd be inside. If you could be mine, I feel like I've been drinking wine. If you call me baby, yeah, I loco mind. Oh, I know you want me, baby. Make you touch my mind. Oh.
You are listening to Lex Radio.
So we are back. This is Lex Radio. My name is Fatima Aigwemian, your host today. So we're here to continue our conversation about the digital economy and whether or not the Nigerian environment is adequately prepared to meet these challenges. I know Lere wanted to say something the other time, but I think my next question, would actually allow you to kind of elaborate more on that. So when we say the digital economy, it's bringing up the issue of even digitalization itself is bringing up different business models, and people have been proposing the business model for legal practice issues like virtual law firms, alternative business structures where you have a firm with a mixture of lawyers as well as non-lawyers providing some sort of a suite of services. We have the issue of multidisciplinary firms, and those are the kind of questions that are coming into the Nigerian space. It's already happening in the UK. So my question, first of all, now will be, let me start with Lere. Do you think, one, the virtual law firms are going to take up the services, or rather take up the business of the conventional law firms? Do you think that this is now the time, when we're talking about the digital economy, it's time to liberalize legal services where maybe foreign lawyers can come in, other professionals can come in with us and partner with us in legal services to do business? What do you think about that?
Well, this is a very tempting question. Well, I think that the brick and mortar structure of law firm is gradually disappearing, and is going to disappear soon. And the idea or the notion that only lawyers can offer legal services is gradually disappearing. And that is the truth. Because there are a lot of people who want access to justice. People want access to legal information. People want access to, take for instance, ease of doing business. Simply means that it's not going to be the exclusive reserve of lawyers to actually advise clients on how to register their company, or for, relations between the client and CAC. Lawyers have to be the only one helping clients to register companies and all that. So CAC now said everybody can register without the lawyers. Soon we will digitalize our land transactions. So I don't need a lawyer to draft to help me to register my land at the land registry anymore. It's already happening. The do-it-yourself concept was something that nobody felt can never happen. It is already here. And you find from my law to DIY, and lots of clients are gravitating towards you. Why? Because clients want transparency. They want to understand end to end. When I come to you, to when you would have given me the solution to my issues, what exactly are you giving to me? The Airbnb style. So before I leave my house, I tap my phone, and then I check, I'm going to Omori Johnson. Okay, I tap, and then it gives me, once I fix the location where I am and where I'm going to, just gives me, and then tells me the name of the driver, the distance I'm going to cover, the cost, gives me the cost immediately, and then I don't have to now enter a yellow bus that I'm not sure of how many stops that it's going to have, and I'm not sure of whether it's going to take me to where I'm going to or not because of bad tires and all that. So this concept of Taxify, Uber, Airbnb, where I can tap and I have a room somewhere, I don't even know who the owner of the house is, I'll live in the house and say it's my own. Those ideas have already proven to us that lawyers can no longer pretend as if they are the only ones who will continue to give advisory in the legal profession. And I think that is why all these things are happening right now. There are services that lawyers will still continue to render that no other person can render them. But there are also services that we cannot pretend as if it's only lawyers that will continue to render them. So the big fours are asking in America or in the UK that they want to be able to advise their clients and digitalize the kind of services that their clients are asking for. They want to commoditize it such that the clients can tap their phones and have access to this. This is the biggest conversation going on right now. And then our regulations do not even envisage that anybody could ever offer legal services through machine or through the computer. So even there's no law in Nigeria today that stops anybody from offering these legal services on the internet.
Thank you very much for that, Lere. Thank you. So I'll go to Busola. Lere said, oh, there's no legal system that stops anyone from offering that sort of legal services from the computer or something. I think it brings to mind the comma, and some of the provisions that have been made that actually allow non-lawyers, so to speak, as if you're not a lawyer, you can practically register a company yourself by the online portal. Some have said it's lost revenue for lawyers, but what do you think? Do you think it's good for the profession, as in conjunction with what Lere just said, that it appears he is pro liberalization of legal services? What do you think the effect would be on the Nigerian environment?
Well, I think that it's with respect to the Kama, the Friday when the public announcement was made about the Kama has been signed into law by President Buhari, there's a whole lot of uproar, and lawyers were just having one complaint or the other, and just saying, oh, they're taking our meals off our table, our meal tickets are taken away, and all of that. And that led us, as SLB, to have a conversation about it, that let's have an honest conversation. Now, some things would no longer remain as it used to be, because if we are talking about ease of business, then seriously, I need to be in the comfort of my home and be able to register my business, right? Now, but then again, I see that even with this new command, the innovations, the supposed innovations, there are still some loopholes that lawyers can still leverage on to. I mean, still, be still be relevant, to still get their daily meal, to still, still function within the system. Because again, I keep saying that this is the Nigeria where it's let's face the realities within our society. Things are happening outside Nigeria. There's a whole lot of innovations, and people are able to match up with it. But here in Nigeria, the average man on the street, how educated is the average man? How tech savvy is the average man? What are the tools available? I mean, given since between Friday, when that announcement was made, up until now, I know a couple of myself and my friends that as at midnight yesterday, somebody sent me a message saying, oh, I got stuck, I was trying to do a business name registration, somebody referred you to me. And I tell you, I didn't charge him small because, he can do it himself. No, I charged him high. You knew there was a lawyer, and then you went ahead trying to do it yourself. Why are you coming back to me? You got stuck. And I told
revenge fees.
No, seriously. And that was what I told my lawyers, that see, I am giving you the permission. If anyone says I can do it myself, fine. I'm not saying they can do it themselves. It's good, and it's also good for the ease of doing business. But there are still some things. I mean, you're talking about drafting the object clause. You're talking about the memorandum of articles, MEMAT, and all of that. Can you do all of those things? Are there templates available? Is CAC even that flexible enough with all the back and forth? Some people will tell you that I can't. A friend of mine was saying, oh, please, Busola, please, could you help me find out if CAC is opened? My certificate has, been there forever. So there are some things that you don't even have. That's not the core of your business. So you don't have time to do all of those things. So you still need a professional. So whichever way you look at it, lawyers will still be relevant. But what I'm saying now to lawyers is, beyond just CAC, and I hate that word, saying I'm a CAC lawyer. You can't be a CAC lawyer. There is a whole lot more that you can do. And I would say that lawyers will still be relevant in the scheme of things, regardless of how liberalized legal services are. Because we operate in a place of a fiduciary relationship. We are the trusted advisor. People feel more comfortable to work with a lawyer rather than working with someone else who, no matter how business savvy you are, but you are still not a lawyer, because we have that trust, we have that place of confidentiality, we have that fiduciary relationship, and your client wants to go to bed, rest assured that my lawyer would not reveal my trade secrets, my lawyer would protect me and all of that. So to that extent, lawyers will still be relevant, lawyers will still have job, but we just need to brace up ourselves for the challenges and ensure that we'll come up with strategic and innovative ways of retaining relevance in the scheme of things. But to say that And well, yeah, of course, some would also fade out. It's either you innovate or you extinct. So some will fade out if you cannot innovate, if you cannot come up, brace up to the challenges and find new ways of doing things. Then of course you would, go into extinction. But for those who would keep innovating, who will keep re-strategizing, who will keep, seeking ways to remain relevant, regardless of how liberalized legal services are, they will still find their tickets. They will still find their meal tickets, and they will still be relevant.
Thank you very much. So the legal profession can actually be liberalized. That does not exactly would not mean loss of revenue for lawyers
Well, to some extent, there may be some
in the long run, at least.
There may,
and for those that are innovating.
there may be some loss of revenue, but again, what you need to do is your preparation now. Now is the time that, okay, we're having a conversation. Should it be liberalized? Should it not? So I would want to imagine that any smart and serious lawyer will begin to think of, it will be liberalized, and then how do I prepare to function when it eventually becomes liberalized? How do I ensure that I am still remain relevant and that my role, is still there? I'm not, my meal ticket is not taken away from me. I am still, visible in the scheme of things. I'm still relevant. So that's the kind of preparation we should begin to have now as lawyers.
Thank you very much.
Well,
I can
can
see
I
Lere
chip in
nodding
a
his
point?
head.
Yes,
It appears
yes.
he's in support of that.
No, absolutely not. The biggest issue is that administrative role of lawyers is against the real essence of lawyering is what is causing these arguments about loss of job and all that. What's the big deal about filling forms? If the CS is serious about what the innovations they're bringing on board, why is it difficult for people to fill it online? So what is the big deal about it? There's lots of young Nigerians who want to register companies and they still have to go to, because we want to keep jobs for a large population of lawyers. I am an advocate of don't let us throw a lot of young lawyers out of job. Let's look for something other that they can still do, that still relates to law. But we have to separate the administrative role from the real essence of lawyering. So
Thank
a
you
lawyer
very
is not the
much.
man who just fills the form. A lawyer is the man who anticipates the challenges and then walks his client towards that particular channel without really, having to fall because of challenges.
Thank
But-
you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I like the distinction you made between the administrative aspect of law as well as the real essence of law, and I think that was an excellent explanation for that. We're about rounding up, as it appears our time is about to run out. I just would like to talk about the digital space or the digital economy, however you want to say it, and young people participating. And what came to my mind was the NBA elections, and it's more like they said it's more like revenge action from young people, and even the NBA president-elect said it was a victory for young people. More young people voted for the president-elect. So the question will be, what do you think? Do you think the digital age would actually help young people to rise up to the occasion of leadership? 2 weeks ago we had the International Youth Day, and somewhat talk about youth and leadership, and we do know that there are quite younger people ruling nations now than we experienced maybe 10, 20 years back. What's your take on youth leadership, youth empowerment, and having more younger people in government, in politics, in power, maybe using the digital space as a leverage for that?
Okay, I think that it's okay with the Hemi election. Yes, it was a good one. It was a win for us young lawyers, and but no, I don't see it more as a revenge. I see it more as we've been tired of this is someone that's proven his worth in other areas in which he has taken leadership. We've seen what he's been able to do, he can do, and so we think that okay, let's give an opportunity, let's give a chance, and hopefully he would do more. And we can tell that with the way he's steering the leadership affairs of the executive elect, you can tell that okay, we're in for some sort of good ride, as far as the MBA is concerned. Now, going to the issue of youth and leadership, I am a very big advocate of allowing youths get into offices of leadership, positions of leadership. But what is my concern are the issues of character and attitudes. Because it's one thing to have the skills, available and all of that, and the competence. But what are your characters? What are the characters we have as young people? What characters do we possess? Are we, because and I don't like a situation where we say, oh, we are the youths now and let's eradicate the place of the older ones. We cannot, because the experience, we still need the experience of the older generations. We still need their foresight, their insights. There's still a whole lot of things we can take from them. Innovation is good, the digital age is fantastic, but there's still some character, and I keep telling people that I work with that your competence will open the door for you, but your character will make you remain in that door. That would be what would determine if you will still continue in that position of leadership. Competence and character, it's very important.
Thank you very much for that. And then to go to you, Lere, we're about to round up. It's the issue of, I recall that there was something on the internet about the GT Bank, for instance, was founded by Mr. Ajala when he was maybe 33 or 36 years, and even within the same age bracket with Mr. late Aderi Noku. So issue of leadership, not just in politics, even in economics, the economical space. What do you think? The digital economy and young people taking positions of leadership and doing great things. What's your take on that?
Well, I see a major revolution happening, and NBA has given a template, and I feel that in the next election in Nigeria, I expect that things would change a bit. But then that's if we're ever serious in terms of leadership in this country, or if we're serious about what politics would actually be all about. But the challenge that I have is my generation is the fact that everything has been monetized. People don't actually want to go through that learning curve. So in this last election, I'll see emails of people saying, "Sir, I don't have salary. I mean, I don't have money to eat. What if I vote for you, will you give me money?" I see the place of money in the election. I see in terms of even what the kind of engagement or discussions that even the young people were engaged in. And I feel in terms of education, we're still having a lot of issues. In terms of people having a sense of direction or ambition or wanting to be something, we have a lot of very innovative and aggressive young Nigerians. But this showbiz idea and this get rich quick idea seems to be affecting my generation. So the few ones who actually want to go into leadership, much as I would have said, okay, fine, let's give them the opportunity, but the kind of the real ones that we're talking about are not yet in this space, and this space is not even going to encourage them to be able to come into it because money plays a huge role. But if the revolution that happened with NBA is anything to go by, I feel that in the next elections something will change, and if it changes, Nigeria will be transformed.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that, Lere. So thank you so much, Busola, Ajala, and Lere Fashola, for coming to today's program on the Lex Radio. We're really grateful for having you and honored to have you here. And do hope our audience have been able to learn one thing or the other, or at least have some takeaways. Thank you very